I'm just navigating my world as a woman for the first time, which is extremely anxiety inducing.
Eden Rose Torres, thank you so much for joining me. And listen, you have been on the front lines of living out loud in Texas. I just want to start the conversation. What are the realities of what you've been dealing with there in Texas and just how life is right now?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in Texas for about 15 years, and it has been an amazing ride. I started out doing like activism with like LGBT organizations. Then I started my own thing, Pride Portraits, and in between there, going to testify at the Texas Capitol against all of the anti-LGBT bills. And then my work kind of transformed into really trans activism.
We have a lot to unpack. I'm very excited. But, I've seen you just within your social media over the last few years growing in that activism, and it's so easy to pass the mic off to someone else. And obviously, no one can tell our story better than us, ourselves. But what's kind of inspired you to really get into that space and to fight for yourself and others?
Yeah, for so long, I was behind the camera and I didn't say anything because a lot of stuff in Texas was anti-trans, and I didn't feel like I had the place to say it because I was not out then. And I went through like a 5-year discovery of my own gender identity. When I finally did come out, I said, I needed a Latina trans woman when I was going through this, when I was a kid, to like know the things that a lot of us don't talk about. And so that's been my goal, to share as much of my life as I feel comfortable with, and put it out there, not only for other trans people who are coming into themselves or are already out, but for allies in our community or people who want to learn how to best treat trans people.
Totally. And when you talk about that discovery, I think what a lot of people don't understand about the LGBT experience broadly is you don't choose to be gay or to be trans. The choice is really in the choosing to explore your identity.
The first time I was in a group of trans women, it was Black and brown trans women, and they were like just telling me their life because I was working with Equality Texas doing the Transvisible Project, and I was photographing trans people to help humanize them for upcoming legislative attacks that we knew were coming. And as I was sitting there, I was like, oh my God, why am I hearing these stories that resonate so deep within me? And like, that's how like I got on my own gender identity journey, because I was like, wait a minute, I just didn't know. I didn't know being myself was actually an option.
What pushed you even further? Because there's a lot of choice, right, in terms of just like kind of staying behind the scenes, but what helped you step into your light and really start writing your story in a different way?
I think because I knew that if I could break through that like that glass ceiling of like talking about myself and talking about my life, then once I had some sort of platform, even if it's 2 people, then I can start bringing other people in. And that was so important to me and still is important to me, because I'm not the person to answer every trans question, but I know so many trans people around the country that I can usually connect the right people to the right people.
I love that mechanism and just thinking through, visualizing all that you just said. And then you mentioned you were able to testify in front of state Congress. What was that experience like?
It was probably one of the most dehumanizing experiences I've ever had, because we were literally fighting for things that were so simple and basic human rights. And, living in Texas, we are in like the hot seat of anti-trans legislation. And so we're sitting face to face with these legislators who want to erase us from the public sphere. And so being able to talk to them and just like not even tell my story, but tell the story of like 7-year-old trans girls that like want to commit suicide because they don't feel safe and they don't feel affirmed in who they are. And like that's another thing. My heroes are like 7-year-old trans girls that I met even before I came out. Like their strength is so amazing, but they should never have been in those situations where they had to advocate for themselves.
We talk about a lot of the negative climate and how we're just really fighting right now, but I did catch a really wonderful Instagram post you posted recently about you got word of a court order that you were able to get your name and gender marker updated. What was that moment like for you?
Oh my God. So one of my best friends helped found the Trans Legal Aid Clinic of Texas. And so going through this process, getting all my documents to line up that so they're affirming and say like Eden Rose Torres, female, has been such a liberating experience. And when I got that court order signed, I immediately burst out into tears because for work, I travel a lot. And every time I have to give my ID over, I get clocked and I have to out myself. And, you know, a lot of people, surprisingly, just glance at someone and over a quick glance, they just usually don't even say anything. So to have that peace of mind, to just be able to navigate the world as myself is, I don't even have words to describe how amazing that feels.
Yeah, I mean, I can feel the joy through the screen right now for what it's worth. And I'm just like, I had read that Instagram post and I was just so blown away with the joy I felt for you. So I couldn't even imagine how that moment was like for you. And I'm so glad you brought up joy because I often with my friends and guests on this series, I love to ask, you know, what is it about the trans experience that we should be talking about?
Just mundane transness, like just existing in the world, like just, you know, going to a restaurant and ordering food and drinks and having a positive experience where you're not treated differently, no one's staring at you, no one's making comments at you, like that's a huge win for us. And that's really sad that we have to like say that is just showing up as ourselves and being accepted is a win. But especially in Texas and other southern states, it really is. That's the reality. So celebrating those things is really important. And I think it's also with anyone who follows my content, like knowing that that's possible and giving that hope to people that, hey, I will get to that point where not only am I confident in myself, but other people will not, you know, bother me.
Totally. And speaking of content, you mentioned this a few minutes ago, but pride portraits, you know, and I'm a photographer myself, and there's such power in a single image. So tell me about how that project got started.
Yeah, so Pride Portraits started on the street corner of Tuam and Bagby here in Houston, Texas, in like 2016. And I just put a Facebook post up saying, hey, come out, get your photo taken. And it was like 100 people just magically showed up. And I did it again and again. And then as I was photographing people, people started telling me like very personal details about being queer and about being a part of the LGBTQIA community. And I was learning a lot. And I thought, wait a minute, if I'm learning stuff, then so can everyone else. So I started asking people, what do you want the world to know about you? And then 7,000 people later, I'm still doing it. I've slowed down a little bit with COVID, but just sharing these images, and I don't over process them and edit them because I really want people to see us.
Yeah, and I love that this project, especially for you, was a surprise, build it and they will come sort of thing.
Yeah, it was definitely like a happy accident. And I had really good like people around me, like lawyers and nonprofit leaders being like, okay, do this, 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 and this. And I was like, thank God.
And despite all that's going on in Texas, that you are there and you are being this light and this voice, if not just for yourself, for so many other people, especially trans youth in Texas. And, you know, when we talk about your life and experience, here we are today with all that you've been through, affirmed in the way that you are and have been. What would you say is your truth? Who and what is Eden Rose Torres today?
I'm just a person. I'm just like I'm just navigating my world as a woman for the first time, which is extremely uh, anxiety inducing, but also like so joyful and so phenomenal to like do that. Like I was just in a play and having a romantic scene partner that was a man and me as a woman finally, like that was just a totally different dynamic on set. And like even that was just so joyful. And because it's like it's these embodiments of affirmation and these like grand gestures of hey, we everyone sees you as a woman. And that's there's just like there's no I don't really have a word to describe how that feels.
Keep climbing and keep going. And I'm so thankful. We're so thankful. Ian Rose Torres, you are the best. And I can't wait to give you a real hug the next time I see you.
Yes, sounds great.
To see more episodes of Truth Be Told, check us out at Plus Life Media and pluslifemedia.com. Until next time, let your truth be told.